Hi, welcome. Welcome to Mystic Moon's political time, political spirit searching. Do you ever wonder about things, how they go? Does it make sense? Certain things make sense. And you think about human nature. You think about politics. You think about the people who participate in politics, the politicians. Are they? They're like you and I, perhaps more vociferous, quicker on the quibs, the answers, the questions, the dodging, the staging. They like to talk. They're people who like to talk, like actors and actresses. Now, you think about what's happened recently in the United States with the presidency. His best bud, Elon Musk. You think about the tariffs, the up and down seesaw effect, the implosion of the dollar, the stock market, the prices that you're paying now for groceries, and everything is just like so topsy turvy. Now, what was needed and what came along? The LA riots. Now, all of a sudden, do you think that Trump's handlers, Mystic Moon subscribers, and those who have just came by, do you think that perhaps Trump's handlers, Donald John Trump, his handlers were able to use these riots as a segue to put some distance between the controversy that the White House has been involved in the last few days, the last month. What more wonderful thing that could come along? Have you heard about Elon Musk and what he said the other day? No. Have you heard about the tariffs? The pros and the cons of the tariffs? No. All we're hearing about is LA riots, must have military boots on the ground. Now, let's ask the spirits. Let's get together and let's all hop in. Well, we could hop into a space shuttle. Yes. And we could go to the White House. We can go right onto the headquarters of the think tank in the White House. And of course, we know that the handlers are not really at the White House. No, there are other places. But let's just go to their base. Psychically, let's mentally and spiritually ask the universe to let us sit at the table where the decisions are made, where the PR, the marketing, the this, the that is made. We just have just a thing. We had a little bit of interference there. A little bit. Well, we'll just let that fly by. Maybe we were getting cross currents, cross frequencies. But let's go back. Let's go back to that deciding table. Let's go back and see, are the handlers of the PR or the marketing of the presidency allowing or making this LA riots as something to segue, to take away the attention from Elon Musk? Elon Musk, with all his controversy, all his South African based controversy, all of our American controversy, all of our discord. Let's just put that aside for a second. And let's just think about the fact of using, like if you want to distract people, what do? You go to something else, some other subject. And then we do know how media and government officials and big business are all connected, don't we? So let's go. Let's see now. We're going to ask the spirit, are these riots meant to distance the activities of the White House, the activities of the Trump administration? Or we just can't just off it just like that? And that's what's been happening. We don't hear a thing about how people are like complaining about anything other than the riots. The riots. Elon Musk, quiet. Even all the things he said. He accused President Trump of many, many things. And he even called for his impeachment. Now, quiet. Quiet. Now we have quiet. Hello, how are you? Hi, Colton. How are you? Hi. What do you think? Do you think something's going on? I think we have enough cards here, enough pulls to see something. Now, what do we have here? We have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. It's definitely in-house. It's definitely connected with Trump presidency. It's connected, right? Preserving the respect, the dignity of the office as being beyond all the catty little comments, all the baseness of where we have gone with the Musk, the bromanship, the Musk and Trump relationship. As we well know, except just because Elon Musk put 300 mil into Donald Trump's campaign, that's chump change to him. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. So we have the Four of Wands. But of course, what he said about the other things, both Trump and Musk had relationships with Epstein. It's known. There's photographs. Did they or did they not? Once again, we have like a lot of penis activity, which is usually connected with politicians, male politicians specifically. Women don't seem to have any urges other than reciprocals of the male desires. All right. The next thing we have is the Fool. The Fool can be complacency or theater. It could be role playing. The Fool. I'll be whatever you want me to be. So we have here the Four of Wands, which is in-house, matrimony, togetherness, under the same roof, in the same team, right? Excuse me. Then we have the Fool. Role playing. That sounds like we could use something as a distraction. The LA riots. Got a little something in my throat. Aha. And then we have here the Page of Swords. Good opportunity. This is it. This is something that could lead us to another. Oh, this is just big. This is big enough to take out the discord of the traffic fiasco. The traffic. It's not even the traffic. It's the tariff fiasco, which has made a lot of traffic halt. Our ports are empty. Our stockpile is empty. Our prices are up. So the traffic of the tariff incidences is playing what naturally it would meant to do. And anyway, we're talking about the Page of Swords being the catalyst. The LA riots are definitely the catalyst to take the attention away from the tariffs. The Epstein connection, again, that's explosive. And then here we have the Eight of Pentacles. They definitely worked that scene in there. It's workable. Send in the military, make the scene, give the dramatics, put the theater in there. Nothing like, what was it? 4,000 National Guard, 700 Marines. What? This is really overkill. Of course, I don't think that Mayor Bass could do anything, right? Maybe she could. I'm not going to say that as personal opinion, but the spirits have already shown her what she's done in the LA files, her background. Newsom, we also see what he can do and what he has done. He's had like years and years and years of activity that the world could see. So here we have the Eight of Pentacles. Guess they needed interference, but was that overkill? Overkill. But, and what is the result? The Seven of Wands. Ooh, precarious, very precarious. Sometimes when you instigate something you're not sure, the initial effect could be comprehensible. However, easy to see. But the the 7 of Wands is, what's the effect of this all? Is this just going to be blown over, or did you just light a dynamite fuse, an explosion? It's like no one would really gave any thought other than the moment, which is the problem that we have with this administration and other administrations as well. Just solve the problem right now. Well, when it comes down to the line, then we'll think of something else. And then we have here, what do we have here? We have the Hierophant. Back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board we go. That is something that we have to think about the consequences after. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? The talk is they'll stay for 30 days. 30 days. 30 days. Can it take a month? That means we're having the summer. Can LA be quiet for 30 days? Can it? Can it not have an earthquake for 30 days? Another thing, can it not? That's a question you have to ask. Well, this is still being the planning stages. When we have the 4 of Wands, which is the same team. We have the Fool using the LA riots. Could be anything. It could be worked into publicity. And then we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, which is the whole idea of communications and getting the word out. What better word than you have than all the different magazines, newspapers, newsstands, etc., commentators talking about it. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles are all working on it. And then we have the 7 of Wands. The consequences is a constant battle. It must be fed. It must have information. It must be kindled. 30 days worth of LA riots. 30 days worth of aggregated lockdown, martial rule. Would that do it to what is that going to do to the country? So then definitely you have all these things that are more important than thinking about what happened to Musk and what happened with him between Trump and what happened between the tariffs. That's just like, okay, so you have to pay more. We're on the precipice of something else. And this something else has to be consulted with many scholars, many people asking community leaders, where's this going? This is definitely something that was used. The spirits, the universe, are inclined to go one way with this, as well as our psychic trip, our psychic instincts, our guts, our innards, our vagus muscle, our vagus nervous system. Something is up. And we definitely can see that this was used as an excuse, as the spirits are telling us, to lay off what was just went down or what's been going down. We're not supposed to go in certain areas of thought. So now we're given something else to think about. Maybe the program itself or the destruction of our one system as it transfers to another digital system. This is part of it. This could be part of it. And they're just trying to put all the pieces together to make the palate tasty enough for the masses to digest, to comprehend. Question is, how many people will go for this? How many people will say, yes, that's what happened. That's why. That's why things are the way they are right now, because we have a handful of people, unruly, maybe paid agitators, or maybe in the 50, 60 million border crossers that came over. This was a planned sleeper cell. And there probably are more. I mean, look around you in your community. How many people do you see that are not familiar? How many people speak English, for one thing? How many people are just strange? How many people are watching? Hmm. You have to ask, are they here for good purposes or what? And then the agitators. How come more men came to this country than women? There's lots of questions. Very few answers at this point, other than just two chaotic ones. And this perhaps was already planned, just like that strange LA fires. Why are they pulling on LA? Is that going to be the scene of the earthquake? The next the next thing, which they're already contemplating every few days, how the polarized, the plasma in the ether surrounding the earth is weakening. There's many, many pools. They're not blaming it on the plasma, they're blaming it on the solar storms, the sunspots. Things are happening. And then, of course, no one's ever blaming it on the frequency beams that all the countries have. HARP, they call it in the United States. What do they call it in Russia? What do they call it in China? What do they call it in France? What do they call it elsewhere that I haven't mentioned? And also, to the presence, there's many things going on. Many, many things going on. And then to like agitate the people. If we're not agitated enough with what's going on, but the handlers are still discussing how far to take this, how far to take this riotous act. So that's on the table right now. I would say that they use this. It's very logical, isn't it? It's very logical, isn't it? That they definitely did use this riots as a backdrop, drop, the sale of the day, uh, the wow of the day, the wow of the month. This is just too good of an opportunity to let it roll. And perhaps it even seems planned, doesn't it? Maybe all these players, the government, the president, the press, maybe they're all just playing the mayor, maybe of LA. Maybe they're just playing a role and they're getting paid for it. And who's paying for them? Who's paying it? To bring in this new system of government. This new system of government, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, nothing more than chaos to bring in change. Not just trying to figure out with his Hierophant how to go about properly, how to squelch curiosity and keep people in a state of agitation and emotional discord. Doesn't that seem like the way it's going and the way it's being planned? It couldn't happen at a more opportunistic time, could it? You have to ask. You have to wonder. Anyway, we are psychically thinking about these things. The most important thing is to think about what you want, what people want. Think of the vices of humanity. Do you think politicians are immune to vices as well as virtues? And the wholeness of wanting more, the emptiness of getting it all. What does that do? Makes you ache for more and more and more. And when you get more and more and more in a collectivist society, there are people who get shortchanged and starved. And there are people that get overfed and bloated. Right? They are that. It happens. And what do you do when you're so bored, you're so bloated? What do you do? Wholesome acts or unwholesome acts? Tell me, what do you do if you overate, overdrank? And what would you do if you underate and you were thirsty? Different actions, different results. The land of plenty and the land of nothingness. These are many, many factors to take in human nature, which is probably why, which makes humans so interesting to study. We study ourselves. We study the living and the dead. Curio, isn't it? Very much a curio. But we can say that the handlers of President Trump are using this for what is they're making it a 5-star movie, a 5-star event. But where is it taking us? Do not participate in this nonsense because it is nonsense. It's not true growth. It is not. Anyway, we'll come back on this subject again because this is a hot and heavy. And it's far from over. And in fact, it's just the beginning. We can surmise the spirits are telling us that this LA riot is being used to fan something and also to blow steam and to hide and shield. Now that's the question of what it's hiding and what it's shielding and what it's cooking up. Okay, until the next time. Thank you very much. And if you like this content, please comment on it. And I would appreciate if you press the like button. We're going to delve into these matters because politics is our life. It is our existence. We live in a political environment, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And what is politics? Politics is quibs. Politics is sticking your thumb out and feeling which way the wind is blowing. And is it necessary that we have politics? That's something that we have to ask ourselves. But then if we don't have politics, what do we have? What do we have? Culture, civilization, standstill, collectiveness? These are all the questions. All the answers are blowing in the wind, blowing in the ether. And we'll have to find out and ask ourselves these questions. All right, and until the next time, ciao.